What's up, everybody? I'm Jeffrey Hessler. Welcome back to my channel, Jeff Hess on college football. If you're new here, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you like college football related videos, because I drop a video that is always college football related. If you didn't check out the last video, please go do so. We talked about Ohio State's big recruiting weekend this past weekend. A lot of big name recruits were in Columbus. Talked about possible chances of them getting into Ohio State and whatnot. Today we'll be talking about 5 coaches I think that have the most at stake, so highest expectations, stuff like that, most pressure on them. Not all these guys have a lot of pressure on them, but let's get right into it. Coming in at number 1 on my list, we got Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney is a very good coach, but the Clemson Tigers fell off a little bit last year. They went 10-3, which was their worst season since 2014. They made 6 straight playoff appearances, so that's ridiculous. They are 6-4 in the playoff. They made it every year since 2015 to 2020. So for Clemson to not even make the ACC title game last year is a huge deal. I know a lot of Clemson fans are probably eager to see this next season. We'll see if DJ Uiagalelei, sorry, that's a hard name to say, the Clemson quarterback this past season, hard name, sorry, or Cade Klubnik can get the starting job. There's a big quarterback battle going on right now. We'll see if Dabo Swinney can turn it around. He's got a lot of guys returning as well. I think Dabo Swinney is a good coach. He's got the recruiting classes somewhat to reload this team, but don't be surprised if they fall off. Florida State went through this same situation when you don't have 100% buy-in from your program as a whole. When I say that, I mean your boosters and your athletic director and everything. You don't have the money to really fund everything. Not a lot of guys are going to want to get there. NIL is a huge thing. So Clemson is a powerhouse. Dabo Swinney is a great coach, but I think the stakes are high for him this year. A lot of rumors talking about Dabo Swinney possibly taking over for Nick Saban after Nick Saban retires. That's a rumor that I think could possibly become true. We'll see, but a lot of expectations on this Clemson team this year, a lot of expectations on Dabo Swinney, and that just comes with being a really good coach. You win national titles, you go to the playoffs every year. It's going to come with it, and that's why number 2 on my list is Ryan Day. You lose at home to Oregon, second week of the season, turn around at the end of the season in November, and you get whacked by your rival for the first time since 2011. You really make them feel like the tides are starting to turn. And when I say that, I mean recruiting-wise, just belief. You give them the belief that now they are the big brother, that they can make this thing turn and they can go on this win streak, because Ohio State was on an 8-game win streak, and they came into Ann Arbor and got absolutely rolled. Now, I think Ryan Day is doing the right things to turn that around. I don't think he's playing around this season. He went out and got Jim Knowles, Perry Eliano, Tim Walton. He got Justin Fry, offensive line coach. He's got a ton of talent returning, like probably the most talented roster in college football this season. That's why another reason his expectations are so high. And not only that, you get the program from Urban Meyer, and everybody heard the born on third base. Everybody's heard it. So Ryan Day needs to put those those sayings to sleep, so to speak. You're the Ohio State head coach. You're going to have expectations. The fans in Columbus are going to have expectations. They went from Jim Tressel. I mean, they fell off for a year with Luke Fickell, but then they got Urban Meyer right after that. And then you got Woody Hayes. And you got all these great coaches. Ohio State has been a powerhouse program, one of the blue bloods of college football for so long. Their fans are going to have expectations, and it's going to escalate the more and more talent you get. You got the best wide receiver in college football. You got arguably the best running back in college football, arguably the best quarterback in college football, arguably the best defensive coordinator in college football. So it's like high expectations for Ryan Day this year. I think he can turn it around. There's been people in Columbus calling for his head, wanting him to get fired. To each your own. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but grass ain't always greener on the other side. I think that is a terrible take. Sorry. Coming in at number 3 is Jim Harbaugh, though. Jim Harbaugh, Michigan, won their first big championship in 17 years. 2004 was the last time they did so. There wasn't even a Big Ten championship game when that happened. It's the first time that he's beaten Ohio State as a head coach at Michigan, and he broke an 8-game win streak, like I just said, for the Buckeyes. First time since 2011. Went to the playoff, won a Big Ten championship, had a Heisman finalist with Aiden Hutchinson, and really got some momentum, like I talked about. Recruits starting to sense that maybe the tides could turn. Maybe they could come be a part of something to keep this rolling for Michigan. That could be a great recruiting pitch for Jim Harbaugh. I'm not going to do his job for him because he knows how to do it way better than me. But there's just things you could tell these recruits to get them in there, and it could possibly turn this Ohio State-Michigan rivalry, because it has been dominated by Ohio State this past decade. Now, this, like I said, big momentum for Jim Harbaugh. He's got to keep doing his thing. He's returning Blake Corum. I think Donovan Edwards is a very good running back as well. I think J.J. McCarthy needs to get way more playing time than he did last year. I think he should be the starter. We'll see how Michigan pans out. I see them coming second in the Big Ten this next season. We'll see how things play out. Coming in at number 4, we got Kirby Smart. And I wouldn't say the pressure on him is not as high as these other guys. He just won a national championship, and when you win a national championship, what comes with that is expectations, how you're going to defend your title. And I don't know if he'll be able to win the SEC. I don't know if he'll be able to make the playoff again. He lost a lot on defense, and he lost his two best receivers. He still got Stetson Bennett, not the greatest quarterback, but we'll see how he can pan out in this next season. I think he's like a fifth-year senior. Kirby Smart's a good coach. Georgia's great at recruiting. He's a great recruiter, so I don't think they'll have too big of a problem. You don't rebuild, you reload. But Alabama is absolutely stacked coming into this next season, and Nick Saban is not on this list for a reason. He is not ever going to have any expectations. He's never going to have any pressure. He's the greatest coach of all time in college football. So, Kirby Smart, I see Georgia losing maybe 1 to 2, 3 games would be pushing it maybe, but Georgia is a talented team at the end of the day. Kirby Smart's a good coach. That's why I think expectations are high on him. The better you are, the more expectations there's going to be. You win a national championship, there's going to be high expectations. Last on my list is Jimbo Fisher, Texas A&M head coach. He is coming off of the greatest recruiting class of all time, arguably. With that being said, I know a lot of those guys are young, but the expectations are going to be high. He's had talented rosters since he's gotten to Texas A&M. He's got his quarterback now. He's got Isaiah Spiller coming back. We'll see how it goes. He just lost one of his better receivers to the transfer portal. The defense is always going to play physical and strong. Look for them to finish 4th in the SEC. They're still young. That recruiting class will develop, possibly. Nobody's ever recruited like Jimbo Fisher. The second best recruiting class of all time was Florida State, and he was the head coach there. So we'll see how he can do. I'm not the biggest fan of Jimbo Fisher, but expectations will start to rise more and more through the years. And I didn't put Luke Fickell. He's a guy that could have been on this list. I didn't put Luke Fickell because he is losing a lot of his returning talent. He's got to replace his quarterback. He's got to replace his running back. He's got to replace defensive linemen, DBs, coaches at that. So he's got to replace a lot. But coming into next season, seeing how this next season comes for Luke Fickell, if they are solid, we'll see. Maybe the next season after that, maybe expectations will start to grow. I think he killed all expectations this past season. He made the playoff, first group of 5 team to do that. Had a tremendous season, fell short to Alabama. It happens. Another guy that's not on this list is Lincoln Riley. It's his first year at USC. That's why I also didn't put Brian Kelly or Marcus Freeman on this list, because expectations are going to be high, but at the same time, it's hard to just get up in your first year and go. Lincoln Riley is a dark horse, I think, for the playoff, but I don't know if he will make it there. He's got talent. He's got Caleb Williams. We talked about the talent that he's got there. He's gotten a lot of transfers, but I still think it's going to take some time to put in a whole new system, and that's what we'll see in spring ball. Spring ball is right around the corner. Ohio State's here soon. USC's at the end of the month. Alabama, Georgia, everybody. Michigan just had theirs this past weekend, so spring ball, we will get more of a sense to see how these teams are, especially a team like USC. You got new coaching staff. You got new players. Everything's going to be installed this past off season, getting it installed this spring. It's not all going to be there come spring game, but we'll see. Same thing with Ohio State. You got a whole new defense coordinator. That's why I like spring ball. You get to see kind of a look into the season before week 1. So, with that being said, if you guys like this video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback if you wish. Hope you guys have a nice day. Take it easy.